tariffs, right?
Yes.
I don't, because they work. However,
I get angry when there's tariffs on the U.S. because we've been tariffed to death until Trump took office.
okay, there's a truck out there. And if people know anything about Honda and Toyota, they've moved a lot of their manufacturing over here to America because it's cheaper for them to make it here than ship it across.
Right.
Okay. But there's a truck called the Toyota Hilux. Helix, people say. It is one of the best trucks ever built. They still build it today. And that truck, out of all Toyota's line, it is so good that the U.S. government has put a tariff on the Toyota Helix. I mean, you can just beat them to death and they don't die.
Right.
Okay. That kind of gets me a little bit. 20. Right. Okay, there's a 25%, they call it grandmother tax on it.
Wow.
Just the tariff. It's a 25% tariff tax,
Yeah.
just to try to get it over here. So then they said, okay, people are still buying them. And then they stopped selling parts.
Yep.
Think about this. 39,000 euros buys a new Toyota Hilux.
Ooh.
What do you think of that?
I don't know.
A new Ford Ranger is $60,000.
I know. That's ridiculous.
For the off-road,
Yeah. That's still ridiculous.
Okay, I mean, there are people that live in houses that are worth less than $60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're living in times, man.
Yeah, well, it's weird. There's a lot of weird stuff going on on the earth. Check this out. 300-foot sinkhole threatens to swallow a home in Mexico.
Oh.
Okay, now sinkholes are coming up everywhere. In Springfield, we had a sinkhole underneath one of our roads. They had to shut down one of the main roads.
Yeah.
Kate says, I like my Sequoia Toyota. It's a workhorse. They are. Jimmy says, I hate to say it, but Toyota's always had one of the best engines. Yeah, that 22RE 4-cylinder. Yeah. However, I don't think any of them are going to be climbing out of that sinkhole. What do you think?
No. That looks like feet down.
Why do you think we're having those?
I think we've had them for years.
And now we're just getting exposed to them.
Yeah, I know.
Hello, Dan Maynard.
But if we're now just getting exposed to it a lot more, just like we are with the alien spaceship.
Right.
Okay. Who's to say that the alien spaceship did not land and cause that hole right there? Am I getting on to something there?
I think you are. Except you're not.
I'm a conspiracy Noah, but I don't know.
Yeah, there's been sinkholes all over the world that have been happening. Do you think that it's shoddy, engineering with other things that are causing this?
I think so.
Do you think it could be that our magnetic poles have shifted on the Earth? So, magnetism does happen in Earth. Do you think it's because that has moved, it's made other parts frail where it's just coming in?
Possible. I also have a theory, too, that stuff like this is predictive programming. Basically, what I'm saying is I believe that they could have had archaeologists and scientists sending crews out there to dig holes, massive holes in the ground, to just stir the pot in the media.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I just don't think that's the case.
Like a Hollywood scat crew out there.
Like, why would they send a crew to build a 300-foot hole? That's a football field. Just boom.
Yeah.
There's been cars swallowed up.
Oh, yeah.
There's been houses swallowed up. There's a house here almost got swallowed up.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you feel weird. Like next to my house out here, you can jump. Now, it's different where I live.
Right.
Simply because I've been told that in my backyard used to be part of the Underground Railroad. So, and I know that's the fact because they sealed different parts off because kids would go down in there and, lots of caves here in the Ozarks. But you can go out on the ground next door, and you've done this, and jump on the ground, and you can feel it's hollow underneath you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a little freaky.
It is.
You know what I mean? You could just be sitting here and boom, drop down a hole. Hello, Shawnee. What do you think?
That is true. I don't know. It's just, all this is possible.
I I mean, you've been to caves before, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the biggest cave you've been in?
Seven Cave.
Seven Cave? Okay, Mammoth Cave. Isn't that over in Kentucky?
The Mammoth Cave's in Kentucky. Seven Caves was in Ohio.
Well, Mammoth Cave, isn't that the one where there was a sinkhole and a pig fell through and a farmer found the cave because his pig actually fell through the hole?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was Mammoth Cave. And then they get in there, it's a huge, huge, huge cave.
It is.
You know, so it's been going on for a while, but it just seems like this is happening more and more and more.
Right.
Could it be that maybe there's seismic shifts in the Earth's crust
there's no
that's
doubt
shaking
about
it down?
Yeah, that major fault line that runs across America could be causing everything.
Could be. I mean, there's a big one. There's a couple.
Yeah.
Basically, the Mississippi River is one big fault line.
It is. Pretty much it runs from Memphis, Tennessee.
No, it goes from Minnesota
Down to Memphis.
to Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Where we're at there by Memphis.
Yeah.
The bootleg of Missouri.
Okay.
Most people don't know this, but I believe it was 1812. It might have been later. It might have been 1890. It was sometime in the 1800s. We had an earthquake here in Missouri that was so big it made the Mississippi River run backwards for 3 days.
Wow.
You don't necessarily think Missouri and earthquake.
No.
But there's a lot of earthquakes. There's like 3 or 4 per day, little tiny ones here.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it's something to think about. It's a little weird. You know, it's almost like thinking about cheese on donuts.
Yeah.
Weird.
But like Kim Libby said, what about the sinkhole in Branson at the golf course?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're happening everywhere. Yeah. You could just, think you're lucky stars, but you could be walking and you know what I mean?
True.
I was watching a TikTok the other day. Same thing. Guy was driving his tractor, plowing a field that he had plowed for years.
Yep. I remember,
Boom.
I just got me thinking, I remember the story a few years back of the guy's brother in Florida. Remember, he went in to try to rescue him from one of these sinkholes?
Right.
And he was literally asleep in bed, and his whole bed went down the sinkhole.
Gone.
And they couldn't find his brother no more.
It's,
that sucks.
I don't know. It's almost like being an Israeli right now.
Yeah.
Sleep in your bed and then boom.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was watching Ted Cruz over there.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Ted Cruz was over there talking about the Hamas rockets, and it showed this little, because they're aiming the rockets at Israeli schools.
Oh, wow.
And residential neighborhoods. And this gal was sleeping, and their maid or service worker or whatever was sleeping. The service worker did not make it out. Just laying there in bed and bang.
Wow.
It's scary, right?
Yeah.
You could be like California on some of them cliffs where the mudslides are happening and Yeah, no thank you. I'll tell you something else, no thank you. This is another story from WTOP News. Hunt is on for Burmese pythons, Florida natives' arch enemy. Professional python hunters and amateurs alike have a chance to win prizes in Florida's annual hunt for the biggest snakes, the Burmese pythons that are ravaging the state's native species. This is crazy. Okay, we're talking about sinkholes. We've been talking about UFOs. Now we're talking about Burmese pythons that are so big that they are eating American alligators.
That's pretty big,
right?
Yeah.
People have had to save their children from these Burmese pythons. Pet, like in totality, like in neighborhoods.
Right.
The amount of pets that are there going down. Why? Burmese pythons. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis announced the state's annual contest on Thursday. It will run from July 9th to the 18th, include prizes for both pros and novices. In both categories, there will be a $2,500 prize for catching the most pythons and $1,500 prize for the longest. The pythons in Florida, which can grow to 20 feet and 200 pounds, are descended from pets released starting 5 decades ago. The big serpents are overrunning the Everglades and have been devouring native mammal and bird populations. Each female lays between 60 and 100 eggs per year.
Mm.
Once snakes reach adulthood in about 5 years, they have no Florida predators besides armed humans and the occasional sawgrass death match with an alligator.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Oh, man.
There's so many there that you can get $2,500 for the most pythons.
Yeah.
Jam says they get 18 foot down here. Ooh, Kim Libby said big earthquake off the coast of Oregon this morning. I didn't even hear that.
No, I didn't either.
It could do some good up there.
Yeah.
There's parts of Oregon that need some cleansing, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. That one zone.
But Florida's pretty much, I think, I could be wrong. Why don't we have this problem with these pythons in Louisiana? Or do we? And we just don't know about it.
I think we got it, and they're just not letting us know a lot of these problems.
I mean, you got the Georgia swamps.
Yeah.
You've got Louisiana swamps. You've got the Florida swamps.
It's hard to tell what's mingled in there, literally.
It is. I mean, look at the snakehead fish.
Right. Well, it's easy. Like, you get these sideshow circuses come through these towns, and, that still goes on in the South.
Oh, yeah.
And what they do, they stop in town. They're not as trained as those big shows.
Some are, right.
Some are. And what if some of those wild animals got away?
Well, some, but most of this are just a-holes that bought a python, thought it'd be cool.
I think
then
so.
It started costing money to keep them in their enclosure and feed them.
Well, yeah.
Oh, it's my baby pet. I can't
Well,
give it
on.
to somebody because
it
then
ain't
I'm
a baby no more. Okay.
Right,
That's
well,
what you're telling me.
I think it's a bad idea. I'm not saying that you can't have them, but
No.
come on, man. You know what I'm?
We got to use common sense.
Common sense isn't so common.
No.
But you're right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But $2,500 for catching the most pythons. That just kind of gives me the,
Yeah, the heebie-jeebie.
Yeah, but big time.
Because I don't like snakes anyway.
I don't at all.
I don't at all. Yeah. Bloody. I'll say this in this accent. Bloody looking tomatoes.
Tomatoes.
I hope you enjoyed that, Jack Alexander, if you're out there.
Do you like tomatoes?
I do.
Okay, there's a southern thing.
Yeah.
And it's toasted bread with butter and mayo with big chunks of tomato on them.
Huh.
I can't stand them.
I like tomato products. I like it mixed in with
like
other
ketchup?
stuff. Yes.
Spaghetti sauce.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pizza sauce.
Okay.
But regular tomato, it just bland to me.
I mean, tomato.
I can add salt to it, and it still just doesn't taste.
It's a southern thing. Like
Gotta
literally,
be.
there are forums out there with these young girls that are trying to get like husbands and stuff,
Yeah.
and they will show pictures and have contests about who can make the best tomato sandwich. It's a southern thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
But fried green tomatoes got a little bit of taste to them.
Right.
But regular tomatoes, I don't. I just,
No. Right.
I'm kind of like you. I like tomato products.
Yes.
I like tomatoes if they're.
It's because they've
grilled
added
with
other
something.
things with them, to
Right.
make it taste better.
It's got to be.
Right. All right. Tomato spill leaves England highway looking like the set of a horror film.
I saw that.
I know.
It was tomato puree, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Go for it.
Police in England said a truck crash left a highway looking like the set of a horror film. When tomato puree was spread across the roadway. A person didn't know it when they wrote this. Cambridgeshire police said 2 vehicles were involved in the crash on the A14 highway in the Manchester area, and one of the vehicles lost its load of olive oil and tomatoes. The resulting spill left the roadway covered in a layer of red liquid. What looked like the set of a horror film was actually thousands of squashed tomatoes, police tweeted. One driver sustained minor injuries and was released after being treated at a hospital, police said. A 23-mile stretch of a road was closed after the Wednesday's evening crash, and the highway wasn't fully reopened until 1 p.m. Thursday. Officials said emergency resurfacing work was required due to damage to the pavement.
Wow.
Must be is there acidic and the tomato.
Oh, absolutely.